before anything else, first let me take the chance to seriously apologize to everyone who I wrapped up in all this, to all the subscribers who I distressed over, this channel probably getting deleted, to all the people I worried on Twitter and Tumblr with the stupid things I was saying on there, to all the Mystic Messenger artists whose comics I've dubbed without their permission because that's stupid fucking irresponsible mix-up with the Google Docs, and to all the artists whose and to all the artists' comics who I monetized without their permission. Seriously, to all of you, I'm really sorry, and to everyone in general, just for wasting all their time with this stupid fucking situation. And if you would give me the time, and I totally understand if not, but if you would give me the time to just, apologize for everything thoroughly, it would really mean a lot to me. So first, let's talk about the situation at hand. A couple days ago, I released a video about how my channel was possibly going to get deleted, and that wasn't an April Fool's joke. It may very well get deleted. And that, for some additional background, that was before the giant Tumblr post that had come out on me and, really blew everything up here. And before, as a result of that Tumblr post, I got to talk to the hundreds of artists and, other people and subscribers and all that, and really, comprehend the scope of what my actions had caused with all this, and the hundreds of people I'd caused distress to with all this. Now, many of you may not know what I mean by Tumblr posts, but basically a large post came out a couple days ago, alleging a bunch of things about me and how I run my channel, and as well as causing this massive shitstorm that kicked up a bunch of other allegations about the channel. And whilst I do believe that this post was made purely with malicious intention to take down the channel, it doesn't change the fact that there was truth in the post as a whole, and that there was also truth in some of the other allegations that were kicked up afterwards. Now, I'll try to cover everything, but I've been running on like zero sleep the past few days, and I spent like my whole Easter break trying to deal with all this, and I may ramble a bit, but I just need the time. If you would just be willing to give me the time to allow me to apologize for everything and elaborate on everything, it would really mean a lot to me. And if you guys don't mind, I am just a total fucking mess right now, and me trying to slow myself down has taken like a gajillion tries trying to do this, and I'm just so done with this. It's like 5 in the morning, and I just want to go to sleep and be done with all this. So if you don't mind, I'm just gonna use more jump cuts, try and calm down, and just try and get through this as quickly as I can so I can just be done with all this. I'm really sorry, the past 3 days have just driven me like fucking hysterical. I'm just going to delve into the rest of this thing right now. Sorry about all the ramblingness, I'm just gonna go through this really fast right now. So to sum it up right now, the two major allegations are that I don't get permission for my comic dubs, and that I monetize all my comic dubs. So let's talk about the first allegation, and then we can talk about the second. So on the first major allegation of me not getting permission, there's two parts to this. There's Mystic Messenger, and then there's everything else. First, on the everything else, for Miraculous Ladybug, Samurai Jack, Bendy and the Ink Machine, and the over 1,000 comics for the several series I planned on dubbing before all this happened, I swear to God on my life that I got permission from 100% of the artists for these since starting my channel anew in 2017, and I am more than happy to send photographic evidence for any of these comic dubs that I got permission. Mystic Messenger, on the other hand, and I apologize for having to say this to my subscribers, but this is not the case. Somewhere around the end of 2016 or the start of 2017, back when I first started dubbing comics and when I was dubbing Undertale comics, I did not ask the artists for permission. And this, by the way, is something I've been open about and said numerous times publicly. But pretty early on, one of those artists came to me and was like, hey, this isn't how you do things, this is how you need to go about dubbing comics, you need to get permission. And I totally took that to heart, and that totally registered, so pretty early on, that is what I set out to do. So during a school break, I spent 2 weeks, every day, all day, drafting a massive list of every artist I could find, every comic I could find, for every series I wanted to dub. Hundreds upon hundreds of artists, thousands of comics. I really wanted to get into comic dubbing, and I really wanted to do it right. I did all of this on one giant document, as well as I guess some like smaller subsidiary documents for the individual series. And this is where Mystic Messenger comes in. Near the end of this, I switched everything from the older, rough documents to a newer, final, better formatted document, but differently formatted. But after the other documents were gone and I was virtually done with the new one, I had realized that I had messed up with the Mystic Messenger part of the list. And as a result, I had confused some unknown number of artists with one another for who I'd gotten permission from and who I hadn't. But rather than, do the right thing and redo the list, I didn't. So of course, I was like, oh, I'm sure it was barely any artists that got mixed up. I'm not gonna waste a whole nother week redoing the list. And as all you Mystic Messenger artists out there now know, it was more than just a few. And apparently it was a lot. And I made that decision knowing full well what could have happened and what ended up happening. To address all the subscribers out there who I saw hopping to my defense saying, oh, well, he promotes and credits the artist, it doesn't make it any less okay. And the reason I bring this up is because I know us YouTubers could be held to like this pedestal of being incapable of wrongdoing, and I know that must have been just so immensely frustrating for the artists involved in this situation. And let's be real, most people do not read the video descriptions. And whilst I'm totally aware of that survey we just did where like 70% of you pulled is checking out the artists after watching my comic dubs, and trust me, I am so proud of you all for that because the average comic dubbers audience is nowhere near that amazing. That 70% was only reflective of like the 10 to 20,000 of you who were active enough to, you know, fill out that survey. Past the base 10 to 20,000 who watch all my videos, I am willing to bet you that it's less than 1% who check out the description, unfortunately, because just nobody on YouTube checks out the video descriptions if we're being honest here. So no, it doesn't make things right. I took their Mystic Messenger comics, I showed them to tens of thousands of people without their permission, and then by the time they found out, the deed was already done, and it's like there's nothing they could have done. Understandably, you'd be pretty pissed. So to all the Mystic Messenger artists whose comics I put up without permission, I am so incredibly sorry, and if you'd like, by all means contact me, and I'd be more than happy to take down the dubs in question immediately, just by, you know, social media, email, whatever. I will do it immediately. This has always been my policy for artists, even if I've gotten their permission. I promise you, I have never knowingly dubbed someone's comic against their will and then purposely left it up after being asked to take it down. If you want a dub of your comic taken down, let me know. And now, onto the second allegation that I've been monetizing all my videos. And as a precursor, let me say that whilst there isn't a single video on my channel that's monetized right now, it wasn't always that way. Now, whilst the allegation that I was monetizing all my videos was just an outright lie, I suspect to, you know, try to convince artists to take down my channel, it doesn't mean there wasn't any truth to it. Now, me running my YouTube channel has never been about the money. On a path where I'm destined to, you know, just keep on studying so that I can work some loathsome desk job that isn't, you know, fulfilling for me at all. What I've been able to do with the channel these past 2 years, the millions of people I've been able to positively impact with it, has just totally brought meaning to my life. It being the one thing that's truly important to me is why I've poured in, you know, so many thousands of hours into the channel and why I've been so upset about all this. But shitty excuses aside, there absolutely is some truth in the allegation, as I have been monetizing a portion of my videos. Historically speaking, I'd say I've probably monetized around a quarter of them, so about 200 out of 800 of them. These monetized videos falling into 5 categories. Dubs I explicitly monetized without asking the artist, dubs I forgot to manually turn off the monetization for, dubs I inferred were alright to monetize based off their monetization policies, dubs I actually got permission to monetize, and then just non-comic dub videos, just my original content. But the first category, me doing it explicitly without asking the artists, that is absolutely the largest one. So I will fully disclose where all that revenue went. So anything before 2017 was almost non-existent, as that was when the channel had very little audience and I was splitting it with my old partners. But as time has gone on, the channel has started to make more. And on the topic of my old partners, in addition, the first 3 months of 2017, 100% of the revenue was going to them, for me trying to compensate for splitting up with them so unexpectedly. The next 3 months of revenue went to charity, as I wanted to try and do this whole non-profit thing with my channel, but some trolls, some of whom I've been harassed by for over a year now, who I suspect that the person who made this Tumblr post that started all of this is a part of, basically ruined that all for me unless I wanted to put up private info out in the open that they could have used to swat me or something. They even alleged I wasn't actually even donating, which really fucking stunned, because it was like I was trying to do this good deed, or at least trying to convince myself I'm not a shitty person, and it's like I basically got punished for donating to charity, and that fucking that blew my mind. Photographic proof, by the way, that those allegations are totally false are in the Tumblr post I made earlier. Anyway, after that, for the next 3 months, I was like, fuck them, I'm keeping it all to myself. And I did just that. I kept 100% of it all to myself, knowing full well that was wrong. And, of course, I tried to make excuses to myself to justify it, like, oh, every other comic dubber's doing it. Or, oh, I'll put it towards college tuition, or, oh, I'll put it towards the 15K in Rituxan medical bills I have to spend every year. It's like, or, oh, I'm just compensating myself, which is total bullshit, by the way, since it only takes me like an hour to make a comic dub, which is, you know, compared to what the artists spend on their comics is like a fraction. So I knowingly monetized these 200 or so videos knowing full well it was wrong. Anyway, then there was a little in-between period where I saw some stuff that was going on with the Miraculous community, and I was like, oh, this is shitty, I'll stop. But then, surprise, surprise, I came up with a new justification and resumed, and had the new excuse of paying for editing costs. This because finally, up to the present day, for the last half a year or so, I've just had a really hard college course load. Just a really insane one, and as a result, I haven't had any time to be able to edit my own videos. And that's been the past 7 months. To be specific, whilst I actually didn't get there until last month, I had been aiming to make and pay him at least $1,000 a month, as I figured that would cover minimum wage and hopefully be a fair wage. Which I totally understand is hypocritical of me, considering the 100 or so artists I wasn't, you know, I was monetizing their videos, who they themselves weren't getting to make any money off of it. I'm just so sorry for any emotional distress I've caused you artists with this. I can promise you I'm done monetizing videos like that. If the channel even survives this, it's just, and you know, if it gets deleted, I guess I reaped what I sowed, and I know probably none of this makes up for what I did. You know, the apology is meaningless, and I'm so sorry for that. Finally, the last part of the video, just for the subscribers. I don't know what's next for the channel, or if it will even continue to exist, as it may get deleted. I don't even know if I'll be able to continue making Mystic Messenger and Miraculous Ladybug comic dubs, which really fucking sucks, because it was so awesome being a part of those communities, and, you know, so fun making those videos. I think if after reaching out to the remaining artists of those two fandoms, if there's any remaining comics I can get permission to dub, I'll dub those, and of course not monetizing any of them. And I still have enough money saved up to be able to pay my editor for at least a whole another month to do that, maybe a little longer. After that, I don't know. I mean, even if I can't dub Mystic Messenger or Miraculous Ladybug anymore, there's lots of video games and cartoons and animes I'd love to do fan comics for. Ironically, next week, as many YouTubers can tell you, I was actually planning on expanding into a ton of non-comic dub content. Voice actors talk, a podcast, voice actors play, a gaming series, voice actors sing song covers, but I'm screaming song covers, among so many other things. I was thinking maybe I could monetize that to, you know, maybe be able to keep the channel running, be able to keep paying my editor, but I don't even know how much of that is okay to monetize. I mean, it's like the comic dubs. Gaming, you're playing somebody else's game, song covers, you're singing somebody else's song. I honestly don't know what I can monetize so that I can keep paying my editor so that I can keep the channel going. Maybe on the comic dubs I can work out some sort of deal where with the artist's permission I can monetize them and give half of it to the artists and then put the other half towards the editing fees so I can keep the channel running, and that I think would be pretty awesome, because then the artists would actually be getting paid for these comics they spend like their free time doing just for fun. I think that'd be actually pretty awesome. If not that, I don't know, maybe I could do sponsored videos. Final idea would be like maybe launching a Patreon so we can have our own self-sustaining little thing going on. I could keep paying the editor. In exchange, I could give the subscribers some cool stuff regarding the channel, some rewards, whatnot. Honestly, I don't know whatever option I choose to go with this, if the channel even survives. All I know is 4 hours later since starting this in my incoherent ramblings that I have to cut all together, and I am, after this 50 hours of hell, I am about ready to take a nap for 2 days maybe. I think that's actually technically called a coma, but I don't know. All in all, I think I'm just gonna have to wait a little bit, see if I can make amends, and see where all this goes. Once again, truly, from the bottom of my heart, to the subscribers and artists I've distressed with all of this, I am truly sorry. It is my hope that this channel can somehow survive this and, like past adversities, come out of it, you know, stronger than ever. It is my hope that I can maybe go back to uploading soon, keep doing the one thing that brings meaning to my life, but, you know, if not, I'll reap what I've sown. Regardless, thank you so much for taking the time to hear me out. Thank you so much for these past 2 years, and I really hope to see you guys again soon. Thank you so much. See you around.